So back in July of 2019, I had the opportunity to meet my brother Brian Welch from the band Korn. I always wanted to do a proper video to just talk about that whole experience and how I feel like God was aligning all the things when it came to that whole meetup. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how that all happened. Let's go back to February 2019. My good friend and brother Scott Bowling, who if you don't know him, go ahead right now, pause this video, type in Scott Bowling into YouTube and subscribe to his channel, Good Company with Scott Bowling. He has some of the best interviews you will see with musicians, especially with rock and metal, alternative musicians, and even people outside of music. Go to his website. I'm not just saying that because he's a friend and brother. I actually love his stuff. So go check it out. So February 2019, I get a message from Scott saying, "Hey Paul, I'm gonna be doing an interview with Head from Korn in July. I know how much Korn means to you and I wanted to see if you wanted to come and sit in on the interview." And of course I'm like, yeah. To be able to meet one of my guitar heroes, absolutely. So needless to say, I was on board with that. Fast forward to July 2019. This was all going on in Atlanta because Korn was going to be in concert July 25th. The interview that Head had with Scott was going to be taken a day before then, which was July 24th. So I was ready. I was already going to go to the Korn concert too, so I already had a ticket for the show. Now this is the interesting part of this whole story, in conjunction to actually meeting Head through my brother Scott, was this. There was a contest at that time for Head's documentary Loud Crazy Love. If you all aren't familiar with that, that was a documentary that came out focusing on when Head left Korn, came back in his life, going back to Korn, and also his relationship with his daughter Janaea. And this contest was made to where if you purchase Loud Crazy Love with the proof of purchase, you could be entered to win a contest for a meet and greet. So at that time, I bought Loud Crazy Love on, I think, Blu-ray and digital. Didn't think anything of it. Of course, most people, when you enter a contest, you're not even thinking about winning, you just enter it to enter it. And needless to say, I get an email on July 22nd saying that I was picked as one of the winners. And I was just like, what are the odds? What are the odds of this happening? I was blown away. So here it is. I was already going to go to Scott's house for his interview with Head. And then I also had won the contest for the meet and greet to meet him at the Korn concert. So I was like, man, this is crazy. So come interview day, I went to Scott's house, got to Scott's house a little bit before the interview. Brian ends up coming downstairs and I'm just like floored that he's actually there. Now, with this as well, my brother Morgan Rose from Seven Dust was there, along with my brother Rich Ward from the band Fozzy. They were going to be in a separate segment with all three of them together talking about their favorite albums. So this was an awesome night already as it was. I already had Head coming there, but then we had Morgan and Rich all coming together. So it was going to be an awesome night already. Brian came down there. And I might go back and forth between saying Brian and Head, so forgive me. I go back and forth between the nickname and actual names. But he went around greeting everybody. He came to me and greeted me. He thought I was a part of the production team that filmed Scott's videos, which is Kind Punk. Those are my family as well. Go and subscribe to them on their YouTube channel as well. Awesome video production group. But I told him, I'm just one of Scott's friends. And of course, I wasn't trying to be overbearing. I pushed myself over him and everything. So I was just being collected and composed. And then I eventually got to the point where I was talking to him and I said, "Hey, I gotta say, it's because of you and Munky that I started playing guitar. Korn was the reason I played guitar, that I picked up a guitar." I said it was Follow the Leader. I was in high school, I was a sophomore, and you all were the reason that I said, okay, I wanna play a guitar. He was like, "What, really?" And so he gets to talking, and then comes the part where I said, okay, I gotta tell you something else, Brian. This is gonna be crazy, but there was a contest for your documentary Loud Crazy Love, where if you won, you get a meet and greet. And I said, I entered the contest and I won. And I wish I had a picture of Head when I told him that, because his mouth dropped and said, "Dude, what?" And I said, "Yeah, I won the contest." And he was like, "Paul?" He took his phone out and he scrolled. He's like, "Paul Hobson?" And I said, "Yeah, that's me." He was like, "Dude, the Holy Spirit told me to pick you, man." And I had got goosebumps then, because I'm a Christian, I'm a believer. I don't shy away from that. And mind you, Head had no clue that I was gonna be at Scott's house. He didn't know who I was, so he didn't know I was gonna be there. So it was a crazy instance where this was not coincidence. God did something on Brian's side where he could see this, and he did something on my side, of course, that I could see him at work. It was crazy. It wasn't coincidence. I could not have been strategic enough to make all of this happen. And that's why I was so amazed by all of this. And I think Brian was too. It's just like, you couldn't make this up. And we could not have made this happen if we tried to. It was crazy. And it was amazing. It was one of those, just, to me, one of those God moments where it couldn't be denied that he was at work with all of that happening. So we really started to talk, and I was really trying to start PLZ Me at that point a couple of months before, and I had shirts made, and I had my good friend Shay make these shirts, and I wanted to make sure I had 5 shirts. I wanted one for Head and the rest of the guys in Korn. I had the opportunity to give him a shirt, and I said, "Brian, I want to give you this shirt, and I wanted to give you shirts to give the guys in Korn, because this is my token of appreciation to you guys for the roles that you all have played in my life, that you all played a part in me finding one of the gifts that God has given me. So I wanted to give this to you." And man, he was psyched. He loved it, and he asked me was I in a band. And I told him no, I'm not in a band, and I told him about my platform, which is to serve through music, inspiration, and creativity, and he was all about it. And I asked him what he posed with my shirts, which he did. He took a couple pictures of actually holding the shirt out. I had an awesome time that night. I also brought this poster that I had since I was in high school that I got from Media Play. For all you 90s people, Media Play was a store that was along the lines of Best Buy, and they had, of course, posters there. And I had bought this Korn poster that was during the Issues era. So this was around Korn's 4th album. And I got that poster, and I will never forget getting my mom to take that to her school, because she was a counselor. She took that poster to her school and got it laminated for me. Because I was like, "Can you get this laminated for me, please?" Because I didn't want anything to happen to that poster. And she took it. She took it to her school, and my mom was so cool in the sense that she would do things like that. She didn't care how people perceived her, going to school with that poster. I'm so thankful I had a chance to show Brian that poster, because my mom passed away back in March of 2018. She knew how much I love Korn. She knew they were the reason I picked up a guitar. She even liked some of their songs. I'm just glad I got a chance to show him that poster and tell him about my mom's story, about how she fought cancer. And he was like, "Obviously your mom was a fighter." So it was just cool that I had something that my mom had a part in, and being able to show that to him. My only regret is that my mom was not physically here for me to share in this whole experience, because I could just hear the conversation between her and I from this whole thing happening. But I know she was there in spirit. So it was so cool, because that night when I was leaving Scott's house, Brian was outside, and he was like, "Isn't it cool how God makes everything full circle?" And man, let me tell you, I left his house that night, driving back home with tears in my eyes, because I was like, here it is. I got into Korn when I was a teenager, 15 years old, and you fast forward to 2019, and here it is. I met one of my guitar heroes, and I was just overwhelmed. I was just humbled and just filled with gratitude, because these are not situations that happen all the time. Not only that, but I had a time to talk to him with him not being bombarded with people, and really getting a chance to connect with him. And it was just so awesome. And now we go to night 2, because that was just one part of this story. That was just the night of the interview. Then we got the night of the actual Korn concert, which was awesome. They ripped it up as they always do. This was the summer 2019, mind you. So this was during the time prior to the release of The Nothing, Korn's 13th album. So they were playing the single You'll Never Find Me at that point. And of course they did great that night. Scott, his brother Michael, our friend Andrew, and I were all there. And after the show, we went backstage, and it was so cool because there was a part during the concert that I had recorded, and it was Korn playing this little jam session between songs. And I don't even know what it was, but it sounded awesome. They were just doing their little jam session, and I got an opportunity to show Brian backstage that whole part on my phone. I didn't even realize this, but Scott's brother Michael took a picture of me showing him that moment. And it was so cool because it was candid. I had no clue he took that picture, and I was just telling Brian in that photo, this sounds really good. I was like, you all can make a song off of that. You know, after I showed him that a little bit after that, he was like, I need to let you meet Munky, man. You've got to be Munky. So I was like, oh my gosh, man. I was like, this can't be happening. You know, literally meeting two of my guitar heroes, the two guys that I give props to actually make me want to play an instrument. And here they are. And so he introduces me to James, my brother James, Munky Shaffer. And man, that conversation was awesome because there was a couple things that happened in it. One, getting to talk to him about one of my favorite Korn albums, which is still one of my favorite Korn albums of all times, Untouchables, and talking to him about some of the songs and, you know, some of the recording aspects when they record that album. And it was so fun to geek out about that, talking about, you know, music geek stuff with gear and all that. And he actually, at that time, took his phone down and showed me. He was like, I'm gonna show you something I haven't shown anybody. And he showed me the prototype to his signature guitar model, the Ibanez Apex 30, which is out now, but it wasn't released at that point. But it was cool that he actually showed me that, and I was excited about it. I don't know how we got on the subject, but we ended up getting into this deep conversation about our moms passing away. I totally forgot that Munky had lost his mother around the same age as I was, around 36. And we got into this just deep, transparent, vulnerable conversation about the last moments with our mothers. And I'm still getting goosebumps. He got goosebumps when we were talking about it. And it was just, to me, that was such a powerful moment because it went beyond the music at that point. We were talking about something that was real for both of us talking about and sharing about our moms passing away. And man, let me tell you, that was a moment I will never forget. I'm truly thankful for it. I'm thankful for the opportunity that I had to talk to him about that. And shortly after that, his phone went off and he had to go for a second because he had to talk to his wife and his kids. But he came back and he said, man, I gotta give you something, man. I gotta give you something. And he ended up giving me this Rick and Morty figure right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. He gave me this Rick and Morty figure. And it's so funny because I had it in the package and I was gonna keep it in the package. But he said, no, man, like, dude, open it up. He's like, open it up. Open it up and put it where you do music at. So I did. I opened up and that's where I put it. I have it up there under my studio, one of my studio monitors. And I'm just so thankful for that moment because this right here will always remind me, this little figure will always remind me of that conversation, that interaction. They actually went to Adult Swim earlier that day, and that's where he got this. So I was just humbled to have the opportunity to talk to both Brian and James and really get to share my story with them. So a little bit later, Brian was in his came out of his dressing room, and he had one of my PLD Media shirts on. And I said, "You got my shirt on?" He was like, "Yeah, dude, I've been wearing it around the arena all day." And I was just like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I stalked your Instagram. I saw your Instagram, man. You can actually play guitar, man." And I'm like, this is just, it was overwhelming. You know, it's like these 2 days felt so surreal to me, and just to have this actually happen, I just couldn't believe it. And to have, you know, someone considered my guitar hero, one of my guitar heroes, tell me that, you know, I could play guitar. I was just like, wow. I was just floored, and it was just cool. And I asked him, could he take some pictures with while he had my shirt on? He's like, yeah. And so he took these silly pictures, and then he was like, you know what, let me take some actual real pictures. And then he took like some actual serious pictures, and I truly appreciated that. And what was so cool about all that was, like, after that whole experience, throughout that summer, I saw Korn doing interviews, and I would see Head in the interviews wearing a PLD Media shirt. I mean, I was like, what? And I had people message like, Paul, Brian's wearing your shirt, Head's wearing your shirt. And, you know, like I said, humbled because he didn't have to wear my shirt, much less wearing it in interviews. And all that summer, I saw Head wearing this shirt. And they even did a Korn docu-series during the summer of 2019. And he was wearing it in that series. And that will always be a reminder to me of that time. And my takeaways from that whole experience was never underestimate what God can do. He can make things happen that you will never see coming. Because if, like I said, if I would have went back years ago and told my 15-year-old self, hey, Paul, guess what? You're going to meet the guys in Korn, I would never have believed it. The funny thing, I always told myself, I wish I would have met Korn when I was younger, man. I wish I would have went to a concert when I was younger. But this happened right when it was meant to happen. Because I'm not sure if the Head from years ago would have been able to see God at work with how he worked through that whole situation and how he actually made us meet up. And for them to be at the ages of where they are now, and they're mature and they're grown and they're family men, you know, they lived up to my expectations and more. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I got to see them now in this, you know, where they are in their life at this moment. So I just wanted to share it with you guys, and just wanted to share my story, because I want you all to have the same expectations, that never underestimate things that God can make happen. I'm telling you, I mean, I would have never thought that would have ever happened to me. So be hopeful. And I believe when you are walking in your purpose and when you're going towards your purpose, there are going to be things that happen, doors that are going to open, opportunities that are going to come, that will just come, that you won't have to work for it, you know, as far as making it happen. Just walking in your purpose will unlock things. I truly believe that. And with that, I will see you all next video. Love you guys. God bless. Until next time. Peace. Love. Let's keep it up.
Picture. Hop up. Picture. Sorry, Raider. Hey, hop up. There you go. Raider. Oh my God! Look at that! Go! Let's get in there.
Dial all the pictures.
My God, that's the coolest freaking dog ever. How old? Like 2 or 3 years?
Raider is 3